Hey, how's it going? It's Ethan with HustlePaintball.com, and today we're going to do the review on the Tippmann US Army Alpha Black Tactical and the Alpha Black Basic. So when you take your first look at them, it may look like they're drastically different. However, they're really not. The only difference between the Basic and the Tactical is the Tactical has this barrel shroud and a car stock. So, since the Alpha Black Tactical is by far the most popular gun of the two, we're going to conduct our review on the Tactical. So I'm going to show you all about the major features, we're going to open it up and I'll show you the internals. We'll talk about some upgrades as well. So let's get started. So we want to begin by talking about some of the features. Let's start with this 4-point adjustable car stock. As you can see, squeeze the lever and it will pop into different positions. So you can adjust it to whatever length you would like. It's really handy. This is an AR-15 or M16 style carry handle. Now, not only does it allow you to carry your gun easily, but it's got a rear sight integrated and you can mount some tactical accessories on it in the future. This is an M16 barrel shroud that's integrated. The barrel is removable, it just unthreads, and the shroud actually stays on. So it's really easy to upgrade by putting another barrel on here while still keeping the look of that great shroud. The mag is simply squeezed on the front and the back and pull it out. You can separate the halves and it turns into a tool storage compartment. So form and function, snaps together and pops back into place. Durable bottom line is out of stainless steel braided hose, so you know that's not going to break. And it comes with a single trigger design already built in. So let me show you something on the back real quick. Now the gun is already pre-ported, so you can do some aftermarket upgrades. This plug here is removable in case you want to install something like a Tippmann Cyclone feed system. Just like the Tippmann 98 series, it's very simple to remove the feed neck. Now, as you can see, that exposes the breech and the bolt for easy cleaning. To put the feed neck back in, simply slide it back into place and it locks shut. Now this is a clamping feed neck, so you can put your loader or hopper in there, use an Allen wrench to secure it so it's not going to fall out during play. Now, right before we open this gun up, I want to point out that there's your velocity adjustment and this here is your safety. So we've got just a few bolts that we need to loosen. So let's get started on that and I'll show you what the internals look like. Now that we've got all these bolts removed, we can very carefully separate the body halves. Now when I do that, you'll see that the barrel shroud kind of falls off. It's secured to the body. Again, it's not secured to the stock barrel. Pretty simple. Everything's laid out just like that. Why don't we zoom in a little bit so we can get a better look. So you can see where the bottom line hose goes into your power tube. Now this entire assembly is your power tube. This is your front bolt. This is your striker. This black piece right there, that is your sear. Of course you can see your trigger and the safety. Now another thing I want to point out is in the trigger frame there are a couple of areas milled out. That's in case you ever want to add an aftermarket e-grip kit. If you aren't happy with the rate of fire on your stock Alpha Black Tactical, an e-grip trigger is the best way to increase your rates of fire. It's a pretty easy drop-in installation, really easy to install. Now, I do want to touch on the fact that these springs here, you want to be careful when you're dealing with anything around them because they are under pressure, and if you move something, these springs could go flying across the room and you could lose them pretty easily. So just be careful with that. Other thing I want to point out is this ball detent right here. Pull that out. This is the correct way it needs to be oriented when you reinstall it. This is something that often gets forgotten when you take apart your gun, so make a mental checklist and be sure that that ball detent is on there. Reinstall it, If you put it in backwards, you're going to be breaking a lot of paint. If you don't put it in at all, you're going to be double and triple feeding. It's just going to be a nightmare. Tiny little piece, super important. Well, let's go ahead and get this put back together. We've got all the body screws put back in together. Put in the magazine, reattach the feed neck, thread in the barrel. It really is pretty simple. So I've showed you the internals, given you a couple tips. I've pointed out some of the major features and explained the differences between the Alpha Black Basic and the Alpha Black Tactical. So if there's anything you feel I missed, or if you have other questions, just email us at videos@hustlepaintball.com, and you can also send suggestions and ideas for other videos there. As always, you can find this gear and anything else you're looking for at www.hustlepaintball.com. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you again.